Take a look at the numbers.
Introduce the show, Dylan.
Are we
I know
ready?
you guys are stuffing your face, but let's have a show here. We got a special guest who is a big fan of one person at this table, and I think we all know who it should be and is.
Dillon Gaudet, thank you for being here. It's great to meet you, too, and I'll sign anything you want. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Say his name correctly.
Gaudet.
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 Good Lord.
Go day. Yes.
Go day.
Like you're cheering on the day. Go day.
Gaudet, go.
Tell us about yourself, Dylan Gaudet. Why are you here in the first place?
We got to do the opening first. Live from Lexington, Kentucky. It's week 8 in the NFL. Here comes the Bottom Line Sports Rocker podcast with Beerman.
Hey.
And Dead Air Dennis from Classic Rock 92.1 and from some other station down the hall that I keep forgetting what the call letters are and the frequency. But anyway, it's a station, and he pretends to be someone of great import. Brad Taylor, everyone.
You are correct in the say when I have great importance. Absolutely. Because we're picking winners here on this show, and especially on the Bottom Line with Brad Taylor, as our special guest can attest to.
That's right.
Mr. Gaudet.
Mr. Go day. Yes.
Dylan Gaudet of 36 on your side.
Dylan, tell us about yourself. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Where did you go to college?
California University of Pennsylvania.
So that's in Pennsylvania or California, or they just are in the middle?
It's in the borough of California in Pennsylvania.
I am so confused right now.
I need to look at the map of the contiguous United States of America again. I'm not sure where we are. Where are we right now? At the University of Kentucky in Nebraska.
There's also an Indiana University of Pennsylvania as well.
Wow.
Yes.
And you are married?
Not married.
And you have how many kids?
No kids.
And you work with Ramey Cohen.
I do.
we're
At
getting
ABC
somewhere.
36.
And
Yes.
now you know why he's on the show today.
Get to the heart of the matter, ladies and gentlemen. Ramey Cohen, the pinch runner extraordinaire from the Power 5 Missouri.
Dylan,
softball.
we'll just go ahead and cut to the chase. We all are, not infatuated, but we're all, we just think she's adorable, and we think she's doing a great job for Channel 36, WTVQ.
Well, I thought you guys were infatuated with me. That's why I had the chance on the show.
That's why you're here.
A different type of infatuation.
Brad said
Yes.
you kept texting him until we put you on the show.
Yeah, no, that's not exactly
I think
how
Brad
I
is
said it.
using you as a liaison into the world of Ramey Cohen.
I don't know what it is, but I'm using his Mac Daddy Stogies and making some.
Is that
Now
making some
that
money.
is an intelligent young man right there, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan Gaudet, our friend from 36 on your side, tells it like it is, saying, I've been using Brad's picks to do very well, especially...
Thanks for repeating it.
Well, I'm just trying to reiterate. There's a difference in repeating and reiterating.
Yeah, you just did that again, too.
Well, the player haters to my sides here, the Beerman and Dennis Dillon, yes, you guys are haters, while people like Dylan and I are cashing tickets.
Okay.
That's the big difference. See, he nods his head yes. There you go, folks. TV boy is with me, Brad Taylor. You two radio boys, I'm not so sure.
Dylan, I will give you $5 if on tomorrow's forecast you say a high of 75 today and take the Lions plus 3.
I'll give you $20.
Thanks to the Bottom Line Sports Rocker podcast.
You did get the high for tomorrow, correct? That's what I had. 75 today.
very
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
He's got a
There we go.
future as a
Yeah.
meteorologist.
Maybe
I'm
so, yes.
fascinated by the weather.
I don't even know
I check
why.
it almost every day.
I don't know why I call in. You just do the weather forecast for the
You wouldn't have
for
to
the
be up at
LM
3:30 in the morning.
communication stations.
Now, Lee Cruz, is he a jerk to you off the air as well?
No, he is.
No, he's not.
He treats me very, very well.
Oh, he does?
Yes,
Oh.
but people get confused on television. He is very. Well, was, because I no longer am on air with him anymore. They had their last show last Friday on Good Morning Kentucky. But yes, he is nice, much
fired?
nicer to me off the air. Not fired.
Yeah, well, my mom does not like Lee Cruz because of the way he spoke to me.
How do you feel about Lee Cruz? Let's leave your mom out of this. She's not here to represent herself.
Ambivalence. I mean, I could do with, I could do without. I mean, it doesn't,
He took a slight little jab at you, and it just hurt your inner...
No, because
Your little
I
heart.
was able to put him in his place immediately.
Oh, of
and
course.
yes,
Sure, sure.
So there's-
and he's a hater, too, I'm guessing.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, player hater.
absolutely.
Is that what-
Straight out of Decatur. You got it. Player haters in the world.
I don't think Lee knows I exist because every time I see Lee, I'm with Dennis, and he immediately gravitates toward Dennis, and I'm just in the background.
Oh, well, I think that's a you problem, not as far as everybody else. But apparently Lee Cruz has been insulting our friend Dylan Gaudet on the air, but he is good friends with him off the air. So sometimes our on-air personalities may be a little bit different than who we are in the real world. You know,
It's called entertainment world, Brad.
that is correct. We are trying to entertain and inform. Can you do both? Because if you can only do one, that's not a very good product.
Clearly, Lee can do both.
Well, I don't know about that.
Insult, inform, and educate.
Insult and inform. The entertain, I'm not so
Did you
sure.
get picked on a lot in high school,
How'd you know?
grade school?
How'd you know?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
No, my mom was a teacher. Of course I got picked on all the time.
Ooh, that explains so much.
My mom was a teacher at my school from 1st to 8th grade.
How many of those years did you have her as your teacher?
They wouldn't let it happen in Madison County. You couldn't have your mom as
the first time anybody said that in the state of Kentucky.
Well, apparently
What
in
if you're
Madison County.
homeschooled?
That's a good point. That's a good question.
Yeah.
What do you do when you have a high school reunion and you're homeschooled?
You go home.
There you go. There you go. How do we? Well, this is stupid.
Let's move on to the games.
Let's talk about our recap from last week's games.
How good did I do
Beerman.
again?
Oh, we made money. That's the most important part.
It was a
On the week, Brad Taylor finished with a staggering 8-5.
staggering.
There you go.
Staggering. Dennis made money, covered the VIGs 7-6. And yours truly, Beerman, came in also at 8-5.
Very nice.
You won through week 6. You want the records on the year?
Sure. Let's have them.
All right, through
Because
week
I know
6.
you're going to tell them anyway.
Brad 44, 47-2.
We had a rough start.
It was a rough start. Dennis at 41, 50-2.
Oh, God.
And just so you know who to pay attention to, Beerman coming in at 54, 37-2.
That's phenomenal. Congratulations,
That is
Beerman.
phenomenal. It'll be cut out of this podcast, but it is a phenomenal record.
I
So,
did
yes.
fall out of the top 1,000 or the triple. Yeah, I'm in
ESPN.
right around 1,000 now on ESPN.
Dylan, last year in the ESPN, there's like 150,000 people that do this.
Yep.
Last year, you're looking at number 26.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
This
That
will
is-
also be
that's quite
cut out of the
impressive.
show.
It's not happening this year. But
The sad thing is there's no money involved in that game.
If you finish number 1,
Out of how many? We figured 150,000, I think, last
there's
year.
money involved, and you just lied to your listeners.
but I learned this also because
would
they
you do
talked
that,
about they
Brad?
dole out 92,000 throughout the year on this little contest. But if you win a week, it's like a $5,000 cut. So if you go 14-0 in a week, you could hit $5,000.
yeah.
Or 500.
So there you go, Brad. Once again, double timing lies to your listeners.
I'm trying to ask Dillon Gaudet your thoughts on sports gambling. And on a typical Sunday when we're NFL, how much time are you spent during the day trying to pick games, handicapping games, getting ready for the games from a handicapping gambling perspective?
Well, we'll say I'm from West Virginia. I moved down here 2 years ago. West Virginia was one of the first states to allow online sports gambling. So I started when they introduced it. Couple years ago, so I did it there. Didn't do it obviously because Kentucky didn't have it until just recently, but just started back enjoying it. I love it. I think it's I'm glad the more states are doing it. You shouldn't just be left to Vegas and then everybody else is kind of
So
doing
you're
it
a big
behind
fan of a show like The Bottom Line that talks about this stuff from a handicapping perspective.
Yeah, it helps people out because a lot of as
do you
you call
wager?
them squares don't know.
How do you wager? What's your favorite thing to do? Do you do parlays? Do you do the straight bets?
No, I just actually my favorite sport is NASCAR to bet on.
Really?
Yeah, I've been pretty successful with that. I actually don't Brad, he doesn't mention the NASCAR picks on there, so I'm tailing him on his picks, but I also have my own
You can inform us.
picks that I do as
Yeah,
well.
you can inform us. Isn't this the last week, NASCAR this week?
2 more weeks.
Two
Two
more
more
weeks.
weeks.
What are we betting on
Yeah.
this weekend?
Well, there's one bet that's right, you want to get your paper and pens out.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
got
right.
Chase Briscoe, top 10 finish.
What?
I think it's plus 175 right now.
What's Dale Earnhardt's thoughts on Chase Briscoe?
He's no longer with us.
What? When did this happen?
A long time ago.
He's 3 for 3 on top 10s at this track in the last 3 races, and then since the new car in NASCAR. So I would say that.
Now, you are on ESPN Radio Mondays, correct?
Mondays, yes,
With Matthew and Jimmy.
at 10:30.
10:30. Do they talk about this from a handicapping perspective, or they just kind
They usually ask, who my favorite is week out, which is tough. I also have a podcast with some buddies also into TV and
We expect to get
media world.
invited to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the name of the podcast?
It's Cloudy with a Chance of Racing. Hence, being a meteorologist, I like.
That's good.
So we
That is
do
so much better than the Bottom Line Sports Rocker podcast.
we do weekly picks picks and everything on there.
If you punched me in the face, that would have been more polite than you just saying that you hate the name of this show. For the record, I did not come up with the name of this show. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Gaudet, but sometimes this guy needs to, get put in his place. But anyway, do you put that on social media?
Yeah, it's on my social media. It's on all the podcasts.
Retweet that every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. So we just did our picks for this coming week because we recorded the episode yesterday, but I already have clinched the picks championship already this year with 2 races left. So that's how far ahead of everyone else I am.
Now, would you like to come on my show 5 minutes on Fridays?
Potentially, yeah. So two more races this year,
right,
and then
we'll
you start back
spring, and then the summer
February.
We'll give you more
absolutely.
Time. Real quick, lightning round type. Who do we got? Who's the best odds?
Yeah.
Top 5, top 10. All that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
5 minutes starting Friday. There you go.
Yep.
We'll get in touch with you on
Let's get to the games.
Denver is always trying to hustle the show up.
Now, why would you take a cheap shot at my name? It's Dennis.
Well, I'm trying to differentiate.
My mom was so excited
Come on, Brian Tyler. You're better than this.
Yeah, Brandon.
Why don't you just mess with Gaudet over there while you're at it?
Mr. Gaudet, have you seen the film Anchorman?
I have.
I think it's still number 1.
Point for you, my friend.
I think it's still number 1 in France.
And at Classic Rock.
I dressed up actually with some friends for when the second movie came out.
Were you
Anchorman
Brick?
2? Yes,
Did you
I
get
of course. Of course I was Brick.
You
Did
Brick
you get those
Tamlin.
clothes at the toilet store?
I got them at Goodwill. I did get my suit from Goodwill that day. But I've wanted to be a meteorologist since I was a kid, so that's always all my friends gave me a hard time as a child.
Right.
You're not gonna, you're just a nerd about the weather, and here we are.
Man,
That's right.
what?
I won a contest actually in 8th grade to do the weather on my local TV station, and then that was my first job at that TV station. So
Guys, check out this barometer.
that's right.
Quit making fun of it.
What?
Was Brad's mom your teacher as well?
My mom also a teacher.
Aha! No wonder. See, we're here on a lot of
and
stuff.
were you picked on a lot as this?
So, but I had
But
the
you
advantage.
were kinda cool.
I was a quarterback in high school, so I was able to get that. I was able to get the upper hand in the end.
Yeah.
Yes,
I was a PE Nerf quarterback.
Yeah,
in
and
middle
the water boy. I think weren't you the
No.
official water boy for the women's?
I was hustling bets in the stands during the games, trying to make 50 cents on the brackets.
Now that I believe.
Let's get to the game.
Let's get to the game.
Let's get to the game.
All right, now keep in mind that your boy Forrest Tucker, when he was on here, he did not do very well.
How did he do?
I forgot, but he didn't do very well.
Now,
And
if
I
you're
know
doing
Lee
English
Cruz-
Premier League picks, he would probably do good at that.
Lee
He's more
Cruz
soccer.
was god awful when he was on this show. So you don't have a lot to live up to for your 36th brethren. So
Very
that's
good.
good news for you. But let's get to the games, folks. All right.
Exciting stuff. Week 8 in the NFL. The season will be half over after this week.
I hate that. We've been kicking ass in this football season, mainly due to the unders. But that's another story for another day. Let's go to Thursday Night Football. Buffalo Bills, 8.5-point favorites with Josh Allen calling the shots. Tampa is coming to town. Baker Mayfield. Line is 8.5. Total 43 since the Beerman has.
Well, you always go to the guest first. I mean,
we
I'll
do?
go first, but we always go to the
Let's
guest.
We always go to
let
the
Dylan Gaudet go first then.
It's the pancake breakfast.
Yeah,
we go to the guest first.
Okay. We did once a month. Yes.
So just clarification on the rules. I'm picking both. Total,
just
the winner straight up.
They
or
don't like
against the
totals.
spread.
Gotcha. Against the spread. I'm gonna
I
go.
add in the unders.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Bucks to cover the spread, is cover the 8.5.
And the reason is
Reason is I think that Baker's shown promising aspects of his game this year. I think because he's a veteran, I think he will play well on the road on a Thursday night game. I also think, as a meteorologist, I think weather's going to play a little factor in this game. And
Thank you.
Rain and wind, I think, it could both impact this game, and he's playing in Cleveland. So
Let me ask a question. When you're handicapping games, especially totals, how much does weather impact you, Mr. Weather Guy?
Well, I try to. I know, Vegas always wins, but I try to get ahead on the over-unders a week out, trying to, see who's like this week. I'll say that when we get to the game, but I tried to get on this one early this weekend, trying to bet the under on a game on Sunday.
See, now when I talk about the wind, windy unders that we like to play, these guys kind of laugh at me. They dismiss me as if,
We dismiss you over everything.
I know, but I mean,
You can't just single out the unders. I mean,
well, I'm just saying, you guys don't like to play the totals, while Gaudet and I do. So, and the weather guy, we like to use analytics and numbers. We've discussed this. You guys are just using, cut of their jib, exactly, stuff like that,
It's so riveting. Let's bet on points.
I'm feeling that my forehead to see if I got a fever. Okay. You're next, Beerman.
well, I was going to ask Dylan, like, if the weather outside is like rainy and you go into the studio to do your weather forecast, does that bring your total down a little bit? Does it, when you're standing up there in front of the green screen?
Does it? Thankfully, we have no windows in our studio. I will say, rainy days do, kind of bring your mood down a little bit.
Did you say rainy days?
Not rainy days, rainy days.
Don't look at me when
Rainy
you say
days
that.
are nothing but sunshine.
See, both of you make those bad jokes and then you look straight over here at me as if I'm going to approve or disapprove. Know in advance.
We just want to see the look on your face.
Know in advance that I don't care about anything you lose or
Beerman,
say.
your pick.
Yes, thank you.
I'm kind of with Dylan on this one. I like Tampa Bay to cover, and I'm saying this as a DJ. The bumper music that they use is very inspiring. The weather. So anyway, I'm going with Tampa Bay on this one.
Gaudet, don't let them bother you. You and me are the same on this. Weather does have an effect on these totals. I don't care what, Mr. 3-song minimum at the nudie bar, spinning the DJ over here tells you.
I mean, I lost the game in high school because of rain, and they grew their grass out. We played our rival. We were the speed team. They were the ground and pound team. We lost because we just played on their high grass and rain and mud.
Yeah.
We lost. We should have won that game. I'll never forget it.
We got two teams here with problems. Two teams that can't run the ball. Two teams that have equally advantageous passing games,
Damn it, I spelled your name wrong.
but also equally advantageous issues throwing the ball.
Can you spell advantageous?
ADVANTAGEOUS.
I'll take your word for it. By the way, Dillon Gaudet, 2-time Madison County Spelling Bee champion right here.
Can we go one podcast without mentioning that?
Just one.
It doesn't impress anybody.
Oh, it impresses me.
You're the only person,
That's
and you
okay.
don't count.
This is my show just as much as it is yours. So yeah, let's.
Wow, this
Your advantageous position.
Getting heated. I'll take Buffalo minus the points.
I hate this game from a point spread perspective, but I love it from a total perspective. Gaudet and I will be both on the under here. High winds. Winds
Yes.
over 10 miles an hour. That's the magic number we look for. Go under when you see winds of more than 10 miles an hour over history. In the last 20 years, Dylan, you'll see that play out about 55% of the time in a lot of sample size. Love the under. If you make me take a side, I'll take Tampa, though. But not because I want to. Let's go to the Sunday games. New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr. 1-point favorites over Indianapolis and Gardner Minshew. Two teams I have no idea how to handicap from a week-to-week basis. Beerman, we'll start this one with you.
Indianapolis is the only team that has scored 20 points in every game this year. That kind of blew my mind because they haven't been all that impressive. New Orleans, on the other hand, has struggled to score. I'm going to take the Colts in this game.
Dennis Dillon.
I'm going with New Orleans. They got the better defense. These are two good defenses, though, aren't they? Where's the game being played?
Indianapolis, inside a dome stadium.
Boy, Indianapolis
Gaudet.
got to be really burnt at the refs. I really am tired of seeing referees give games away. Somebody said something about how the AFC North had a great weekend, a great Sunday for the AFC North because Baltimore, wiped out whoever it was. Detroit. And then Pittsburgh won. Thanks to the refs.
Yeah.
And so did Cleveland, thanks to the refs. So it wasn't a great day. It was just a great day for, more botched calls from the officiating crews. So in this game, I think I'm taking New Orleans.
I'm gonna go with the Saints here to cover with the 1 point. So I'm a Derek Carr believer. I think he's getting into his stride there with New Orleans. You have Kamara back. The offense is loaded, and the defense is a good defense. There, I was looking, when I was drafting for my fantasy football team to get a defense, I wanted to get the Saints because they play a lot of young, inexperienced quarterbacks this year, and this is one of them being Gardner Minshew. So I'm going to go with the Saints because of that.
Beerman, who'd you take?
I took the Colts.
I'm with you on this one. Wrong again.
Oh, wow.
Dennis.
Sorry about you both.
And Gaudet. Give me the Colts here. Not a Mac Daddy Stogie, but I think you're getting the Saints. Derek Carr, when he's a favorite, he is less than 33%, 15 and 32 in his career against the spread. As a favorite is Derek Carr. Yeah, but I don't like this game at all. Indoors.
Indy's got a great offensive line. So the defense of the Saints, I think they're going to be able to keep their quarterback clean.
I'm with you. I'm taking the Saints here, or the Colts here, over the Saints.
Dylan and I just had a conference over here. We decided that we would let you guys pick again if you want.
Where's Lee Cruz at tonight? At some bar? Why don't you go join him for happy hour? Yeah, you would be a lot better off there. You'd get a lot more laughs down there at the Chuckles Comedy Factory or wherever you and him are going tonight. I don't know.
Cheap shots, Brad.
I am the
More
cheap shot
of your
artist.
cheap shots.
You're darn right. Next game. Pittsburgh Steelers, Wilson Kenny Pickett at home. An underdog to the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, a 2.5-point favorite here. Total 42. Dennis, we'll start with you.
Jags lost last week, right?
No, they won.
Who'd they play? They beat New Orleans.
That's
On Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night game. That's why I couldn't remember it. Yep.
And who they playing this week?
Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh. Are you stalling on purpose?
I'm taking Pittsburgh. I'm tired of betting against the team I hate the most. Right, Dylan?
Yes. Also not a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
God, it just gets so sick.
Now, you grew up in West Virginia.
Yes, a Pittsburgh Steeler heavy area.
Exactly. They're all Pittsburgh Steeler fans.
Yes, my dad's side of the family, huge Steelers fans.
And you like to just stick it to him.
Yes,
he's a Steelers.
His fan. He had his cousins living in Latrobe, so he was able to go when my dad was a kid. Go over, ride the bikes over, and see their training camp. So that's why he became a Steelers fan. But I love to root against them as much as I can.
I do too.
That's our kind of guy, right?
That's why I'm betting on them, because when I bet on them, they lose. So sorry about that, all you Steelers fans.
You're betting on Steelers?
Yep.
Oh, that's good news for the rest of us. Gaudet, you're up.
I'm going with the Steelers in this one. This is the game that I mentioned earlier. I think this is going to be a sloppy game. Grass field. Yep. It is going to be windy and rainy there, so look to take the under. I believe it's dropped some. I'm not 100% sure on that. But
42 is a total.
42 is a total, yeah. Under on that. Wasn't it the Jags-Steelers game, the game that ended 3-0? Years ago in the mud. It's not going to be that bad.
Yeah, I remember
it was like a night game in the mud.
That punt, they punted it. It was a 40-yard punt. It just splashed and it didn't move. I've never seen a punt do that before. Since
it could be reminiscent of a game like that. I saw on NFL Network last week. Kurt Warner said his bold take of the week was that a game would end with both teams under 10 points. This could be one of those games this week, I think.
Yeah, it's a pretty good call.
So 3-0. That means if Jags win, then they've covered the 2.5
without scoring a point.
3-0. Give me Jacksonville.
You're taking Jacksonville?
I'm taking the Jags.
I'm taking the Steelers at home. Not a Mac Daddy Stogie at all. Little bit of sharp action on the Steelers here. About 55% of the tickets are on Jacksonville.
It is the most bogus 4-2 team I've seen in my lifetime.
Yeah. So I'm taking the Steelers, getting the points at home here. This line moves, it'll go up to 3 for Jacksonville because I see a lot of juice on that 2.5 right now for the Jags in this one. Let's go to the next game, a battle of the rookie quarterbacks. Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young at home, 3.5-point dogs to the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud. Houston, 3-point favorite. Total 43.5. Gaudet, we start with you.
I'm going to go with the Panthers to get their first win of the season here and to cover that spread. I'm going with them money line. Weather looks great in this game. It's going to be a sunny game, nothing to worry about. I think both offenses get going, and I think Bryce Young actually just shows a little bit of promise here. He's struggled at times this season. He's got some weapons. He doesn't have a ton of weapons, but he does have weapons, so going with them at home.
I feel like any moment I'm going to hear winds out of the west at 3 miles an hour.
I pay attention to what Gaudet says about the weather because that's how I factor in the unders.
But then again, don't you do everything perfectly?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's take a look at your record again. No, this is
next game.
I kind of enjoy that we're getting this new perspective.
I do too.
I love it. Yeah. We need it. I need something different than you two clowns.
Yeah, we need something different than you two clowns.
This game is in Houston, but it's 3 and a hook I think it's going to be a little bit closer than that. So
Consensus is 3 for Houston.
3. I wrote down 3.5.
3.
Oh, crap. Well, I'm going to play for a push then. No, I'm going to take the team getting points. I'm going to take Carolina in this one.
Dennis.
Yeah, I like Carolina too. I think this is a good spot for them. And listen, Brad, you can shake your head all day long. I do think I think the Carolina defense, which hasn't really lived up to its promise this season, I think they get it together for this one. Brian Burns game, defense.
Everybody took Carolina.
Pow.
Dang it, I'm taking Carolina too. Back Daddy Stogie, give me the home dog off the blowout loss last week. Love, give us your tired, your poor, your weak. Love Carolina here. Haven't covered a spread all year.
I love Lamp.
I love carpet.
This is as good a time to mention as any. So last week we talked about what our record was when we all took the same team. Going into this past week, believe it or not, we were 11-11, but we went the same on 2 teams this week, hit both of them. So we're now 13-11 on the season when we've all gone the same direction.
Okay.
There you go. And even Gaudet is with us. That's a 4 out of 4 on this one. So yeah, we're all on Carolina here. Act accordingly. Sheep out there who do the fanboy across town 4-team parlay every week and lose their tails. Don't get me started on that. Next game.
You talking about those jokers
Yes.
at the radio station?
Yes.
Those idiots?
They put a 4-team parlay out every week. They beg their sheep to take them against the spread. Thousands follow. Thousands lose their money. But they're saying, oh, we're going to keep following you. We're going to keep following you.
We're going to keep listening and we're going to keep following. God bless.
4-team parlays. Not the good way to make money in this, but I'm just saying.
Those guys are laughable at best.
I know.
Can I just say
but
that? It's laughable at best.
I'm not allowed to say anything about
You're
that.
not?
I call them the fanboys for a reason. Next game.
Fanboys.
Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. 6.5-point road favorites. Looks like this line might hit 7 before we're said and done. Against Washington and the Commodes, Sam Howell, your quarterback for Washington. Total 43.5. Gaudet, I think we might have something to say about this one.
Yes, it's going to
Go
be
ahead.
windy.
Yes.
It's going to be windy, and it's going to be warm. Pretty warm for a game this time of the year. I think it might be pushing 80 degrees in that game in Washington, D.C., which is very warm for this time of year. I don't know if that's not going to have any impact on the game. But, want my pick?
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm going to this is tough. I think that's a lot of points, I think, for this kind of game, divisional game. I'm going to go with Philly to cover the spread here. That's tough.
He likes the Eagles.
What was the line you gave us again?
6.5 is the line. Total 43.5.
If it stays at 6.5, I love Philadelphia right here. If it's a windy game, that means we're going to be running, and Philadelphia's run defense has been incredible all year. So, yeah, I'm going to take Philadelphia. If it gets to 7, I might get a little nervous about that, but at 6.5, I'm taking the Eagles.
Wrong again, boys. Brad's shaking his head in affirmation.
I think I might like the way you're going here. Yeah.
Washington got embarrassed last week. Division dog. Too many points. Jalen Hurts has not been up to snuff this year. He's had some good games. He's had an awful lot. That interception that he gave away 2 weeks ago at the close of the game, threw it right to the... I mean, I don't make that throw. I think Washington covers this one.
Mac Daddy Stogie. Woo! Give me Sam Howell or the Commodes against the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me Washington. The divisional road or divisional home dog in this case. The total, I'd love to go under here. But, the weather being a little warm. Not as much wind according to my little stuff here. But, 43.5 seems a little low. But we'll take Washington here and stay away from that total. Next game. Dallas Cowboys at Dak Prescott. 6.5-point favorites over the Rams and Matthew Stafford. 45 is the total here. Beerman, we'll start with you.
Where's this game at?
In Dallas. 6.5-point favorites against the
Dallas, the Cowboys have been incredible. They've been on the road a little bit lately. Aren't they coming off a bye also?
Yes.
The Rams coming off a game that they should have at least had a shot to win, but they got hosed out of it. But Dallas plays great at home, and 6.5 is not going to be enough, so I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Dennis?
This is a tough one because I feel like Green Bay is due for a gangbuster game. I feel like they're going to.
What does that have to do with this game?
Listen, I just feel like they're. They're playing Green Bay, right?
No, the Rams.
Dallas and the. Oh, I'm
Dallas
sorry.
and the Rams.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Please pay attention and quit
sorry.
thinking of
It's a
Lee
good show
Cruz.
if you listen.
I'm not paying attention to you guys. What's the line?
The lack of respect.
Sorry. I was
72.
I was thinking about my Goodfellas pizza. 72.
Dallas 6.5-point favorite over the Rams. Total's 45. Please pay attention, Dylan. Dennis Dillon.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams.
Dillon Gaudet.
I'm going Cowboys here. I don't know if this is true. I just feel like Dak is better off of a bye than when he's, just straight up. He's struggled at times this season. It's a get-right game, I think, for the Cowboys, and they get a win. 7 points.
Mac Daddy Stogie, give me the Rams. Getting the points here. I will take the Rams. Maybe a little too many to keep up with Dallas. They got an offense good enough to keep it closer than the experts think.
I like this Dillon Gaudet kid. He's got some good picks.
He, unlike you two, he gives actual good handicapping information while you're sitting there throwing bottle caps at people. Yeah, Dillon Gaudet and I are actually trying to pick some winners here. I'm taking the Rams, and I'm going under the total on this one, too.
Didn't the Rams kick a field goal late in one of the games early in the season to cover the
week
spread?
2, yes, I remember it well.
Yeah.
So they are in tune with the point spread needs of their followers, and Gaudet and I are on that side.
Wait, are you saying this is all rigged?
Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift?
Et tu, Brute?
Next game.
Can we not talk about the Kansas City game at all? Can we? I think we should all stop paying attention to Kansas City.
I think
they're not even a team anymore.
I think somebody needs a nap.
I do. I'd love to have a nap.
New England Patriots and Mac Jones on the road against Miami and Tua. Dolphins a 9.5-point favorite. Total 46.5. Dennis, we start with you.
Tua's 15-5 at home against the spread. Miami taking the loss last week. I think they might have had an extra day. Have an extra day of rest as well. And then Mac Jones and the Patriots off of a big win. Yeah, give me Miami. All day, baby.
Gaudet.
I'm going to go with Miami as well. They've been up and down at times this season. The offense is just incredible. I think that they have a great game. This game I do kind of lean the under in this game on the total perspective. I think that Bill Belichick will keep him in check a little bit, but it's too much power with the Miami offense.
Miami has beat up on the teams that are kind of crappy, and they've been pretty. New England's been pretty crappy this year, except for somehow beating Buffalo.
Hey, that's the NFL, man. That's the parody.
NFL. It's baffling, though. And, maybe that's why you all think this game's rigged. Who knows?
Wow.
I'm going to stick with the Dolphins because that means either Brad's going to have to go with us or he's got to take a crappy New England team.
Oh, yeah. I know where he's going in this
Wrong
game.
again, boys. It's the Patriots here. Give me Mac Jones. Give me you're tired, you're poor, you're weak. The teams that nobody has any faith in. Too many points. Give me Mac Jones and the Patriots. A little bit of sharp action on the Patriots here.
That's because they're jumping on after they beat Buffalo. It's like, oh, they're good now.
Give
they're
me
still
Mac
the bad team.
Jones and the Patriots. And I like the little bit of wind down in Miami this week. Gaudet nods his head in approval. Give me a little under in that game, too. I don't think Miami's putting up 30 on the Patriots in this one.
I do wonder how much wind affects that stadium, though.
That's a good point.
It kind of covered all the way around. So that's one thing I've always wondered, in games there. I know the fans, when it's raining there, they kind of get protected from the rain. I wonder how much of effect that has on the wind.
Hard Rock Stadium?
Yes. Nowhere near the campus, Miami University campus, so their fans don't travel there. Feel bad for the
University
Hurricanes.
of Miami is not... is that where the college team plays too?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Next game.
Next game. It's the Battle of New York played in New Jersey. The New York Jets with Zach Wilson against the New York Giants. We don't know who quarterbacks the Giants just yet. Jets, a 3-point favorite, total a very low 36.5, Dillon Gaudet.
Yeah, that total is tough. When I saw that earlier in the week, I was really surprised. Man, this is tough. You don't really have a home or away team here, but the Jets being 3 points favorites was a little bit of a surprise to me. I'm going to go with the Giants, actually, to cover. I don't know if they win. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going with the Giants, the G-Men.
I'm going against you on this one. I think the Jets defense, they made the comment the other day, maybe we've got to shut every team out. Wasn't it them? Or yeah, it was them, wasn't it? And I think that defense has kind of been on a mission. If it's Tyrod, I like the Giants more than if it's Daniel Jones, but I'm taking the Jets in this one. Zach's been playing some better ball. and that's kind of interesting to see.
Compared to his 2022. Yes.
100%, yeah. But you know what? He's gotten better off of crap, but it's still better.
Well, when did he start getting better?
A couple weeks back,
2 weeks ago.
yeah. Hey, better is better.
Listen, better is better, and that kid didn't have too far to go to do anything better. I mean, he was at the bottom of the heap. He has looked good, but I love Tyrod. I think Tyrod against the spread is like 32 and 23 or something like that. If Tyrod Taylor plays, I'm taking the Giants.
I like the Giants more in the game if Tyrod is playing. I think Daniel's supposed to be about back.
I think the Giants are starting to put their team together. I think they're finally starting to figure out who's doing what, and their schemes are starting to gel a little bit more. So yeah, I like the Giants in this game. Chicka.
I'm going to take the Giants as well, but not a Mac Daddy Stogie based on quarterback. If Daniel Jones plays, I don't want any part of it. But I'm with you with Tyrod if you're going to give me 3. And despite the fact that the total is 36.5, I'd go under the total here as well. But again, not a Mac Daddy Stogie. Let's go to the game in Nashville. Atlanta Falcons, Desmond Ridder. 3-point road favorites against Tennessee, and the starter will be Will Levis from Kentucky.
Who?
Exactly. Will Levis starting. Atlanta, 3-point favorite. Total 35.5. Very low total here, Beerman.
Wow, that is really low. Rookie quarterback starting his first game, even if it's at home, but you haven't heard great stuff talking about, he is the heir apparent. If anything, you've heard, they may have reached for this guy and not got a decent quarterback. I'm going to take Atlanta right here, and I love this pick. I don't know that Will Levis has seen anything like this, even in the SEC. So give me the Falcons.
The thing that scares me is the Titans O-line. It's not good, and we've seen how Will Levis operates with a bad O-line. What's the points?
3. Atlanta 3-point favorite.
Yeah, I'm taking Titans.
Gaudet.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm going with the Titans as well. Weather shouldn't be an issue. Maybe a little bit breezy, but I don't know if it's hit that 10 miles per hour. I kind of like if I'm not mistaken, earlier in the week, there might have been sharp action on the over. I'm not entirely sure if I read that correctly, but I'm going to go with the over in this game as well.
There you go. Low total. And look at these two quarterbacks. Not a lot of people have a lot of faith in Desmond Ridder and Will Levis. But I'm with the Titans guys here. I'm going to take Mike Vrabel, who is very good when he's an underdog. He has a 50% record straight up when he is an underdog in his career at Tennessee. That's cashing a lot of good money line tickets. I'll take the Titans getting 3 at home against the Falcons here. I'm not going to touch that total, though. It's too low. It makes you wonder. I'm like you. The weather is not going to be an issue here. Last 1 o'clock game. Minnesota Vikings. 1-point favorites on the road at Green Bay and Jordan Love. Total 42.5. Dennis Dillon, as you're texting your Lee Cruz down at the pub, who's already getting good and hammered, already drunk dialing Ramey Cohen for you. Go ahead.
What game again?
Exactly.
Minnesota Green Bay.
Minnesota Green Bay.
Woo, okay.
Vikings 1-point favorites.
I'm going to pass. Can we do that on this show?
I don't think you're allowed to.
I don't know.
The show has reached a new low, folks.
I haven't thought about this one. Beerman, go.
Minnesota looked good against San Francisco. Green Bay looked awful against the Raiders, but Minnesota's been somewhat close in some of their games. Green Bay is not scoring at all in the first half. I'm going to go with Minnesota in this one, although there is the stat that teams after they play San Francisco typically lose. But 1 point just seems odd. It doesn't seem like enough points, which is usually where they get me, but I'm going to take the Vikings.
Dillon Gaudet.
I'm going to go with the Packers here. I know they had an ugly game last week. Their quarterbacks looked really, really bad of late, looking like he might not been the way that the organization wanted to go. Vikings coming off a big win. I think I'm going to go with the Packers, and this could potentially be our first snow. I mean, it's not going to be a ton of snow, but it's going to be cold there.
Dusting.
I think, Vikings were able to run well last week, but they haven't run well so far this season. Cold, snowy. I think the Packers, ugly game again, sneak it out.
Before Dennis gives his well thought out pick here on this game, school cancellations in terms of snow. Now, how does that? When I was a kid, we just called the local radio station. There's school in Madison County tomorrow. Now, how do you guys handle that now? Do you have like a snow go report or something? What do you guys
we
do?
call it snow watch, but now it's tough because everybody just gets the alert on their phones, which makes it difficult. But people do complain if we don't have that up, and there are a couple of delays in snow.
That's the way it should be.
I mean, that's what when I was a kid, and obviously loved watching the news because of the weather, and I would wait till my school name went across the screen.
That meant everything. I'm sorry, Dennis. I'm trying to stall to give you time on a game that you have not even thought about. So go ahead.
Still thinking.
Are you ready? Wait, hang on.
While we're young.
I'm still thinking.
While three of us are young.
Yeah, I like. I'm with Dylan on this one. I like the Green Bay running game. I have not. I don't think Minnesota. I mean, Alexander Madison is on my fantasy football team. I can tell you how many yards he's running for every week. It's like 39 tops. They don't have a run game. They tried to get Cam Akers in the game this past week. That worked somewhat, but still, I'm going Green Bay in this game. Just seems like a bad spot for Minnesota and a good spot for Green Bay in a home game.
Beerman, who'd you take?
I took the Vikings.
Okay. I'm taking the Packers here, getting the point at home. Love the under, though. The divisional under game here. Maybe not the weather as much as it is the... Are you okay over there?
Yeah.
Do I have to go in the last 20 years before you curse me out
go
again?
ahead. Go right into it. I want to hear it.
Divisional unders.
Woo.
We're taking it. Give me the under here, but we'll also take Green Bay and the point. Good Lord. Are you okay?
It's Greg Hahn's thing, man. It's a signature move. Come on. Greg
4
Hahn,
o'clock
comedian.
games.
Do you ever laugh? Do you ever have fun? Is there anything in your life that you do that you have fun at?
Looking at you. 4:05 games.
Once again,
Cleveland Browns.
unnecessary.
P.J. Walker is a quarterback. No Deshaun Watson this week. P.J. Walker announced the starter against Seattle and Geno Smith. Seahawks, 3.5-point favorites. Low total again, 38. Dillon Gaudet, we start with you.
I'm going with the Seahawks to cover in this game. Again, a little biased. West Virginia guy. Love Geno Smith. Love that he's getting a little late career.
I hated him at West Virginia.
Late career
Hated him
resurgence. So
He's getting a second chance.
the Browns defense is just amazing. Myles Garrett had an incredible game last week, but I do think sometimes Myles Garrett disappears, and this could be one of those games where he just comes off the highs of highs last week, and then he kind of disappears this game. So I'm going with the Seahawks to cover at home, especially with that crowd. I'm going with the Seahawks.
The last couple of times this season that the Seahawks have faced a good defense, they got beat up pretty good. I think this is going to be the same case. I'm going to take the Browns and take the points in this one.
It's scary because Geno Smith, if he gets when he has to move too much, when he kind of gets out of his throwing lanes, he's not quite the same quarterback. But I'm with you though. I like Seattle. Seattle's defense hasn't been talked about enough, and we saw it in the Bengals game, and we saw it again. Who they played last week?
The Bengals had an off day last week.
No, Seattle.
They played the Cardinals.
Yeah, they played the Cardinals. Yeah, I just listen. Cleveland knows what they are. They are a good defense and a shoddy offense, and they're going to go to Seattle with that in the back of their heads, and they're going to know that last week's win was not deserved, and they're going to play like it. Seattle.
Beerman, who'd you take?
Took the Browns. You should pay attention to me. I've got a
You're
good record.
right. I remember these two, but you're just very forgettable today, apparently, for some reason. I'm going to lay the points with Seattle here, too. The home team. Not a believer in P.J. Walker. Not a Mac Daddy Stogie type pick, but yeah, I'll lay the 3.5 with the Seahawks here. The biggest public play right here in terms of sharp action. The difference between the square action and the sharp action is Seattle here. So I'll take that. Next game.
So Seattle's getting the money?
Seattle's getting the sharp money, yeah.
But the tickets are on Cleveland.
Taking a lot of more tickets on Cleveland here. Next game, the big one. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs head to Denver to face Russell Wilson and the Broncos. Chiefs are a 7-point favorite, total 46 here. Beerman, we'll start with you.
I really thought this was going to be a double-digit line. I'm a little bit surprised on that.
This line has dropped a 1.5 in the last day. It was 8.5. Excuse me, it was 7.5 yesterday. Half point. Excuse me.
Is somebody out? What's going on?
No. People
That's
are
bizarre.
Just little sharp action.
If it's only 7, you know what? I mean, I got faith in Sean Payton that he's going to right the ship, but 7 points is not enough. Give me the Chiefs in this one. And my auto.
Travis Kelce fan club president, Dennis Dillon.
The only way any of this is going to end well for me is if I take a gun and shoot myself in the face. The Kansas City.
Can you allow one of us to do it?
Listen,
I'm volunteering.
I think my week 7 in the NFL was capped beautifully when there was no football on the screen, but no, a happy and bouncing and joyous, whatever her name Mahomes is, and what's her name Swift. When they were just bouncing,
Remy Cohen Swift.
when they were just joyously celebrating in another catch by Travis. Swear to God, Andy Reid buries Travis Kelce on the injury report all week, and then he says, "Oh," well, and then he thinks he's being crafty and sneaky by putting him out there. And then he gets 187
I was going to say,
yards.
Apparently it worked.
Yeah, well, you know what? Andy Reid can suck it. Okay? Travis Kelce, suck it. Patrick Mahomes, keep sucking. Swifties go down this week. Denver wins the game. Boom. Called it.
That's what I call expert analysis.
You're welcome.
Right there.
You're welcome.
Hard-working handicapping knowledge.
This is me leaning back in my chair and resting on my laurels.
So enriching.
Dillon Gaudet, please rescue us.
I'm going with the Broncos to cover the spread here. I think this is a divisional game. Broncos looking to get right. Chiefs. I love the Chiefs, actually. You know, I'm a big Mahomes fan. I actually do like Travis Kelce. I'm sorry. Have him on my fantasy team. Drafted him high.
Say it, Dennis. Say it,
He
Dennis.
played at Cincinnati. That's close to West Virginia.
You're dead to me.
I believe West Virginia played against him when he was at Cincinnati. But I'm going with the Broncos here. Ugly game, I think, and this is one of those games where you're just Chiefs have yet to have a game where you're like, what are the Chiefs doing? I feel like they have a couple of those every year, and this is that game.
Mac Daddy Stogie, give me the Broncos at home, Beerman.
What is going on? I feel like I'm in crazy land.
I feel like Travis Kelce's going to break his thigh.
Give me the Broncos at home. The one of the most public. This is another public and sharp play here. Yeah, total reverse line move. Give me the Broncos here, and don't be afraid.
Well, let's get Patrick Mahomes a new hip after the game. What do you say?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I love the under here too because we're looking at a divisional under here. 20 years. That's all I'm going to say. Denver Broncos. Give me the points and the under here. There you go. Next game. Here's one for you.
Oh, yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow.
Talk to me.
San Francisco 49ers, and not Brock Purdy. Out with a concussion. It looks like that they will be playing Sam Darnold. Line has fallen now. 3.5 is the line right now. Total 43.5. Dennis, I think it's your turn to start.
In a game that can be heard on Classic Rock
That is
92.1
correct.
in Lexington, Kentucky. It always scares me when the Bengals face a quarterback they're not prepared for or haven't seen in action. You know, last year it started off with them playing, who was the Pittsburgh quarterback in that game? It was your boy.
Kenny Pickett.
No, it wasn't Kenny Pickett.
Was it Mitchell?
Trubisky.
And then in the next game, the Dallas quarterback, the backup guy, whoever that was.
Nobody knows his name
I can't
anymore.
remember his name. But yeah, they had problems against these guys last year. So it does scare me a little bit. And, you know, when teams have to resort to a backup quarterback, it seems like the teams gel a little bit more. It seems like they kind of surround them a little bit. I'm going to say I like the Bengals in this game, and I feel like they can cover this spread. But I don't feel super great about it. And the Bengals need the win, and they're coming off the bye, and it will be a short week for San Francisco. So I'm taking the Bengals.
I'm also going Bengals in this game. Here in the Brock Purdy news, I mean, I don't really know if there's going to be that much difference between Sam Darnold and Brock Purdy.
Right.
So that gets me a little worried, but I feel like the Bengals are starting to figure it out this year, and they're coming off of a bye, rest up, Joe Burrow can get closer to 100%. I'm going with the Bengals to cover. To win, I'm not sure, but to cover, yes.
The 2 games they've played this year against the NFC West, they've won, beaten Arizona, beaten the Rams. So I'm hoping that continues.
If you look at this season compared to what they did last season, the Bengals started awful and then put it together, and then they almost didn't lose after that. I can't understand San Francisco right now. How have they lost 2 games in a row to 2 teams that are suspect? They probably should have beat the Browns, that last second field goal that just strayed right, but I don't understand. San Francisco is better than they've been. I hate to take them right here because I want the Bengals to win, but San Francisco coming off 2 losses, it's got to be a little bit pissed, and Cincinnati's got to travel to them.
So you're taking?
I'm going to take San Francisco.
This might be the most interesting game on the board, the most important game on the board this week. You got a Cincinnati team, 3-3, trying to get back in this playoff thing. Got San Francisco's lost 2 in a row, but like you said, both those games, they had it at the end. They had the ball at the end of the Cleveland game with the field goal that just sailed to the wide left, and then they had the game the other night. Yeah.
They can still be
to the right.
Yeah, they could still. They're 2 plays away if you want to get technical about it. But this is a Bengals team now getting 3.5, and Blues Traveler told us the hook will bring you back.
Yeah.
You're going to give me that 3.5. I'll take the Bengals on the road. And look out to take the under the total here, especially you're probably going to get a different value now at the backup quarterback with Darnold if he's playing. But, I'll take the Bengals at 3.5. Next game, Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. 8.5-point road favorites at Arizona and Josh Dobbs. Total 44.5. Gaudet, we start with you.
I love the Cardinals here. They're now 1-6, but at the beginning of the year, you're thinking, this team is better than what we thought, considering they didn't have Kyler Murray. Ravens just looked incredible last week. That was the best. I will say that was the best I've ever seen Lamar look in the pocket. He was just floating in the pocket last week. But I'm going with the Cardinals to cover a lot of points, and they're home, so going with the Cardinals.
There's a stat out there that's Lamar Jackson against NFC teams that he's never faced or only had to face once. People underestimate his speed, and typically the Lions last week, perfect example. You don't have anything that you can compare or practice against that is similar to Lamar. When he plays an NFC team for the first time, he usually bodes really, really well. I think this is going to be the same case. We talked about it last week. May still want to take Arizona on the first half line, but then once they get to the second half, I think Baltimore just pulls away.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. Anytime you take Arizona, you just don't know what they're going to put out on the field. Josh Dobbs has played against Baltimore before when he was with Pittsburgh. So I think I like Arizona in this game and the points. I'm not happy about it. I don't want to have to do it. But, I think last week was only the third home game for Baltimore. We kind of should have seen that whipping coming.
Yeah.
Because Baltimore has always had 1 or 2 games every season where they just decimate another team. They put up those 40-6 games. So, they got that out of their system. They've done that. Now they got to travel, get back out on the road again. Maybe a little bit of a letdown spot. So I'm taking Arizona. Don't feel great about it.
I will agree with you, Dennis, for once. I don't feel great about this, but it's against my religion to lay more than a touchdown, especially on the road. Give me Arizona getting the 8.5 at home. Nothing other than just too many points here, and I think Arizona has enough offense and Dobbs to keep this one close. Next game, Sunday night affair, and we'll start with the Beerman, very fittingly, the Chicago Bears, and that quarterback none of us have ever heard of. What's his name?
Tyson Bagent.
Bagent? Oh, there you go.
Pageant, like pageant.
Bagent. I don't
think
know.
it's Bagent.
It's Bagent.
He's a West Virginia boy, so I know him.
Bagent 86.
Isn't his dad like a professional arm wrestler?
Yes. He's like a multi-world champion arm wrestler.
right?
Yeah.
He was an announcer for CrossFit as well, for the CrossFit games. He did like the announcing when the CrossFit was at its heyday.
Beerman has a renewed look of optimism in his eyes.
I would like to be an announcer for arm wrestling. I just want to announce those arms. No, he got it. No, he doesn't. Oh, they're fighting. All right.
Oh my God, they're fighting! Look at it!
That's it's like being a bowling announcer.
Right.
What do you need to be a bowling announcer? You need to know how to keep score.
He rolls the ball.
Yeah. What do you think he has to do here, Brad? Well, I think he needs to roll and knock over all the pins. Back to you. I mean, what do you? What's the big deal? Sunday Night Football.
Keep it out of the gutter.
Rich and compelling.
Agent against Herbert. The Chargers are 8.5-point home favorites in this one. 46.5. Beerman, will start with you and your beloved Bears on the road.
You know what? You look at the last 4 weeks, and the Bears are playing some pretty decent football. The Chargers, on the other hand, not exactly playing great football, but the Chargers are just a significantly better team. Khalil Mack has already come out and said, this game's kind of a vendetta for me. That is a lot of points. You know what? If I go against the Bears and they win, I'm okay with it, but I'm going to take the Chargers in this one.
You're laying a lot of points today, Beerman. You're taking a lot of favorites, I've noticed.
Well, yeah.
I don't know why you're doing that, but I think, is there a method to your madness?
Not at all.
Well, you're taking a lot of chalk here.
Go easy on him. He just picked against his favorite team.
That's what. Well, that was the red flag for all red flags.
He's looking a little nauseous.
I'll skip
right now.
the other ones, but when you go against the Bears, getting 8.5, that's kind of fishy. And Dennis Dillon now getting up, feeling his forehead. Is the wind more than 10 miles an hour? We do not know. Dennis, your diagnosis?
He feels really good.
Pick a team then.
I'll take the Chargers.
Chargers. Both of you guys take the Chargers.
Listen, that is just one piss poor team. I can't. You can't. You could write a novella about how the bad luck that the Chargers bring upon themselves.
I will say Eberflus is no longer the favorite to be the first coach fired. He was until this Bagent thing took over. Now he's bought himself some time with these last couple.
Who's first? Ron Rivera?
Yes, very good. Yeah. Ron Rivera, and he's the favorite right now.
Yeah.
Along with Staley from the Chargers. They're the two favorites right now.
I've said it 1,000 times. He should have been fired at the end of last year.
If Staley loses this game, he won't have a job Monday morning. Gaudet.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bears to cover a lot of points, but I think the Chargers, I mean, everybody in the world's waiting on them to look good. The offense just has too many weapons. Eckler's back. I traded him in fantasy. I was tired of waiting, and he was a lot. People wanted him. So
traded for a kicker?
Did not trade him for a kicker.
I was given a trade like that one time. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I have Herbert, so I traded him for Keenan Allen. I wanted the wide receiver quarterback. Yeah, but I'm going the Bears to cover, but I think the Chargers still win.
I like the way you think, Gaudet. I am going to stick it to the Beerman right here. Give me the Bears and the points. A little reverse line move. More money on the Chargers, but the line moving towards the Bears. That's the old RLM we like to talk about. Give me the Bears. Give me the points. Monday Night Football. Las Vegas Raiders. We don't know who the quarterback will be yet. Jared Goff of the Lions. 8-point home favorites in Detroit. 46.5 total. I don't know who starts. I think it is
Give me the Lions. I like the Lions in this spot. Las Vegas is terrible. You take Max Crosby out of that defense, and that is the worst team in the NFL right now. I'm telling you. I don't care if Jimmy Garoppolo is quarterback. I don't care if who's the other guy?
Brian Hoyer.
Ken Stabler.
Wow. Yeah. Ken Stabler would be better than
Ken
Brian
Stabler
Hoyer.
is no longer with us.
Exactly.
Okay.
My points.
Yeah.
Okay. Ken Stabler's
Jim
grandma.
Plunkett?
Is she still with us?
Jim Plunkett. Two-time Super Bowl champion. I think he's the only two-time Super Bowl winning quarterback not in the Hall of Fame.
Is that right?
I think.
Wow. Plunkett's not.
He's not. He'll
Plunkett
never
started off his career with New England, didn't he?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And he was not good for a long time.
Right.
And then he got to the Raiders. So you're taking Detroit.
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit in this game. I think that they were embarrassed last week. I think they got the coach that knows how to whip their asses and get them in shape for a home game. And let's make this happen, boys. And I really do. I've seen, for whatever reason, the Raiders have been on television. They've been televised a lot, 2 or 3 games this year, and they look awful. It's just embarrassing.
I wish I had a picture of that face you made.
Oh,
they look awful. Yeah, exactly. Go Dave.
I'm going with the Lions. There's a lot of points, but I think they whoop the Raiders. Monday Night Football, great chance for, Jared Goff's not the kind of quarterback that's just rah, 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 but the coach is a rah, rah, rah kind of guy. So I'm going with the Lions here to cover. It's a lot of points, but I think this is a whooping.
I'm glad you re-mentioned the Monday Night Football. I think this is only the second time in like 10 years that the Lions have been on Monday Night Football.
In the last 20, oh wait, that's Brad's line.
In the last 10 years.
A lot of times when a good team comes off an embarrassing effort, they usually come back with a vengeance. You almost got in my head by saying I've laid a lot of points, and I was like, do I need to take the Raiders in this one?
Oh, I'm living rent free in your head.
But you know what? I'm sticking with giving up a lot of points. I'm taking the Lions right here. Like you said, Monday Night Football in Detroit, coming off an embarrassing loss. These guys are going to be ready to go.
You took the Lions? Mm-hmm. You took the Lions? You took the Lions, Beerman?
Yeah.
Wrong again, boys.
Suck it.
Give me the points and the Raiders.
One win we got over you already.
Give me the Raiders and the points. Monday Night Football. Nothing other than the fact that it's against my religion to lay more than a touchdown in any game in the National Football League. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have gone over all the games in the NFL this week. Do we have any best bets on the board that we would like to share?
Detroit.
Detroit is your best bet. Is that your only best bet?
No.
No. Do you have any other ones? You're up because you started blurting out teams, and we'll have to go with it now.
I'm going with the Giants with Tyrod Taylor.
Giants with Tyrod Taylor.
Arizona.
Arizona against...
Screw you, Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore.
And Denver. And Miami. I need to write those down. Those are great. Did you guys all write those down? Here, let me give them to you.
Yeah. Let me write something down for you. In fact, I got a pen in my pocket I can share with you.
Don't you do it. Miss Judy, he just flipped me
Dillon
the middle
Gaudet,
finger.
your best bet.
Oh, you cut me off. Mom, but hang on just a second, Dillon. Mom, it's Dennis. Your son just flipped me off with his middle
I did
finger.
not.
You did?
I stuck my pen between my middle two fingers like that. That is not flipping you off.
Does that make you feel better about what you were thinking?
No, that's exactly what I did, Miss Judy.
Dillon, go ahead.
She of the racist toast.
I'm going. Are we just
Best bets on the board.
that we said today, or
You can
over
do
under? I'm
any-
going over the under in the Steelers Jags game. I actually do like the over, though, in the Titans-Falcons. I think that's going to be random a lot of points in that game. But in terms of straight up, I like the my bet there with the Seahawks and the Browns on the road. I like that game. That's my point spread. Best bet.
Beerman, are you ready, or do you want me to go?
No, I'm ready. Best bets of the week. I've got Tampa Bay over Buffalo. I've got Dallas over the Rams. I got the Jets over the Giants, and I took the Falcons. I'm riversiding somebody over Tennessee.
My best bets of the week. Get your pen out, Dillon. I know you're writing these down. So yeah, you're
Make
right.
you feel better?
You're just going to draw a picture of
Look, here
somebody's
I
face.
got something in my pocket for you.
Yeah, exactly. Carolina Panthers haven't won a game against the spread this year. I'm taking them against Houston. Give me Washington getting too many points at home. They've already covered against Philadelphia once this year. Make it twice in the rematch down in Washington this time. Give me the Patriots getting a lot of points on the road. Miami and Tua. Miami's won a lot of games at home big this year. Yeah, this is a divisional game, a little different ball game. Give me the Rams getting the points down at Dallas too. Those are my favorite sides. Totals. I like going under in Thursday night Buffalo. I like going under in Miami with New England. I think it's going to be a little bit more. Belichick's going to have a little bit more defense there. A little bit of wind action too. And I'm going under with Green Bay, the divisional under game there. So and that's one that those are my totals. There you go.
Rich and compelling.
I don't know if you guys know this, but my apartment smells of rich mahogany and many books, leather-bound books.
Dillon Gaudet, your thoughts on this podcast and the hijinks, chicanery, and absolute madness that I have to put up with from these two clowns.
I loved it. Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate the offer to come on. I listened to Lee and Forrest, and I wanted to make the ABC 36 trifecta there. So,
well, you are my favorite of the three. I can promise you that.
Thank you.
Lee Cruz is last. I don't care who comes on, but yeah, Forrest was good, but you're my favorite mainly because you've been following our picks and
right.
you've been cashing some tickets. And a man guys who gamble together, even if they're not in the same room, you share something. You share a common bond. Win or lose, you share a common bond, and we have that, Dillon Gaudet. And I'm very, very grateful that you showed up here today. And I hope you had a good time.
I did.
We'll have you back very, very soon. And we're going to start doing NASCAR real quick segments on Fridays.
Yeah, sounds great.
Lightning.
Only 2 more weeks left of the season, unfortunately, but
Well, that's all right. We'll get you. Hey, a winner's a winner. So
that's right. But it is a 36-week season every year, so you get a lot of.
In the summertime next year, where there's nothing going on but really bad baseball, we'll milk you for everything you're worth. Yeah.
I can't wait for the listener calls. Hey, give me Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart running around.
There's that Cale Yarborough. My favorite was.
Do you want to share a pick that you have for this week?
Yeah, the Chase Briscoe. I like him. I was hoping to get a little bit more.
I wrote that down earlier.
I did too.
Yeah,
I was hoping to get a little bit more juice. The problem is it's a short track, so you're not going to get everybody. The odds you're not getting.
Do you know the odds on him? I don't have it pulled up. Do you have the odds?
Plus 170.
Plus 170 to win, or
no, top 10.
Top 10 plus 170.
But I will say the favorite right now is the lowest favorite I've seen all season, and it's Denny Hamlin. He's only like a 2-to-1 favorite. 2.5 to 1 favorite, which is crazy. That's way too much of a favorite. I would stay away from that.
In general, I'm saying this out of ignorance when it comes to this. In general, how do favorites do in NASCAR racing in terms of?
It depends on the track. Out of road course, the favorite does really well because it's very skilled. Short tracks, I think the favorites do well as well. But it's also when you have a favorite, a 2-to-1 favorite at a short track. I just think that there's too many guys that can win. Like there's a group of 4 or 5 that could win that race, and he's not the one I would put at the top of it. So this week,
would you give him a top 3 or a top 5 finish, or I got to go top 10?
Top 5. A top 5 bet that I like would be Ryan Blaney. Top 5. I'm not sure what the odds are on that, but he has finished top 5.
That would be plus 170 on Ryan Blaney.
Yeah.
Now that's what I call actionable information, folks.
But Chase Briscoe top 3 is plus 900.
Yeah, he
plus 5 plus 400.
I was hoping to get more juice on this because he has been terrible at all the rest of the tracks, but this is his one good track. So
now that's what I like.
That's what you call analysis. A man who actually watches the games.
Yes. What are you saying that you should punish me for not watching all the games that I'm supposed to be watching?
I'm punishing you for not watching any of the games. That's right, Miss Judy. I just told everyone that you're
Mark doesn't mark this.
So, Dylan, it reminds me of Keeneland, where they're going around the track, and the favorite, which only when I bet on the favorite, loses.
I got $10 on Chase Briscoe.
Just did it.
Top 10, sure.
Outstanding.
And I will say too, I stay away personally from betting the super like a Daytona Talladega because that is truly like just playing roulette because somebody could lead the whole race and they wreck at the very last lap. So I try not to. I try to stay away from those. I love betting the 1.5-mile tracks. So if you look and it's a 1.5-mile track like a Las Vegas or a Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600, you can look at the data and find a guy that's consistently runs well there. Like last week, Austin Dillon runs well at where they race in Miami, and he was like plus. He was like 3-to-1 odds to finish top 10, and he averages a 9th place finish at that track. So
great last name too, Dylan.
Yeah,
Austin
he's right.
Dylan, yeah,
spelled our way as well.
Good Lord, nobody cares. Nobody cares, Denver, about your last name.
Quiet. I'm writing all that down.
But they have matchups. They no longer do top 20 bets, but NASCAR bets, they have matchups, so you can do head-to-head. You also have the top 5, top 10. They no longer do the top 20, and then you have top 3. I'd stay away from top 3. I think that's really tough to get.
When you come on my show, I'll ask you 3 questions. Favorite to win the race. Top 10. Matchup.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
There you go. And I know you'll be different on our show than you are with Matthew.
Brad Keselowski's still racing?
Yes, and he's really good at Martinsville, too. He's a track.
Harry Gant, the Skull Bandit, is he still racing? He was my all-time favorite.
I don't know. A lot of these names I don't even recognize anymore.
That's the thing. 30 years ago, I knew all the NASCAR drivers.
Well, Kevin Harvick's retiring. That's the one, took over for Dale Earnhardt. That's when an era's passing when that whole group's done now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I was a kid, I just felt like I knew all the NASCAR drivers.
Yeah.
You knew the numbers. Oh, there's the 9. That's Bill Elliott. It's crazy. It's just, times have changed. But anyway,
so I took Ryan Newman to win the race. I put down $1. If he hits, it'll pay me $1,001.
He's in a terrible car, but what he could do is really factor into the race because he's tough to pass and he's in a terrible car, so he's going to be in the way a lot. So he's going to make a lot of people mad.
He's out there acting like a kamikaze. He don't care.
Yeah, but again, I have a podcast, Cloudy with a Chance of Racing, and also Motorsports Monday that I have a little segment there where we not only talk about NASCAR, but IndyCar is really big in Kentucky. When I was looking at the TV ratings, Louisville is in the top 3 TV markets for IndyCar, and Cincinnati's in the top 10. They don't have it because Lexington is outside of the top 60, so Lexington's not included in those numbers, but I think we would be pretty high too because when I don't talk about IndyCar during their season on my segment, somebody's like, why didn't you mention IndyCar this week? So it's pretty popular. I know a lot of people from this area go up to the Indy 500. I'm going to my first one next year, so I'm excited.
Oh, wow. Wow. By the way, before we let you pub all your other stuff, I have breaking news into the Bottom Line Sports Rocker podcast studios.
This Wednesday evening.
Oh, now called Cloudy with a Chance of Passing a Football.
Yeah.
Meatballs?
Breaking news from TMZ. Travis Kelce's ex, still friends with Brittany Mahomes, but unfollowed to protect herself. Read it and weep, fellas.
That'll
Breaking
wrap
news.
up this week.
Breaking NFL news for the Kansas City Swifties.
Dillon Gaudet.
This just it. How will Travis Kelce perform this week now that he's got this news?
If Taylor Swift is there, he'll get over 100 yards.
Yeah.
If not, he'll get 40-something.
Oh, my God. I just don't know what to do now.
She bought season tickets
to
the Kansas City game.
Because they're 1/10 of the ticket price for one of her shows.
She bought. She got a sweet season ticket
got
for
a
the rest
sweet
of the
ass,
year.
dude.
I saw a playoff game at Arrowhead. Best fan experience I've ever had.
When the Bengals beat them?
It was when the Steelers beat them
Good.
when the game
Alex Smith was still quarterback.
Yes, the game got postponed because of ice, and we were able to go out because my dad's a big Steelers fan.
Yeah.
His best friend is a big Chiefs fan and struggled for years. So they finally played
Dylan's
each
a
other
big
in the
Ice
playoffs. So we went. The Chiefs tried to cover Antonio Brown with Chris Jones, and that's how they lost. It was like they got a match
on Antonio Brown.
Yeah, they had him in motion, got switched on to Chris Jones, and he.
Well, that's one Steelers win I'll sign off on.
Dillon Gaudet,
Yes.
tell us about where we can find you on social media, about your podcast, about your On Your Side newscast, whatever.
All those kids you have.
Yes, and all those bets you've been winning with the Bottom Line.
Yes, the Bottom Line has treated me well. But I'm on Twitter at Gaudet Weather. Again, it's Gaudet. Does not sound how it's spelled. But
And Twitter is spelled X.
X. Yes, sorry. But I talk weather on there, obviously big weather, but I also talk motorsports on there and sports in general. And then on my Facebook page, it's mostly strictly weather on there, but that's Gaudet Weather. I also do a little dirt race coverage, and a lot of the dirt race faithful in Kentucky follow me on there because I'm the only one that covers dirt racing. Not a lot of newspapers, TV stations care about that, but a lot of people put their hard-earned money into that. So shout out to all of our Central and Eastern Kentucky dirt track guys.
And do you race as well?
I do not. I wanted to as a kid, but my mom said you are not doing that. My dad's buddy. I kind of grew up around the track, so I always went and was in the pits. But that's what kind of got my love for it.
Once they start putting odds on the races down at Richmond Raceway, we will be there with bells on because we need some actionable information. A winner is a winner. I don't care the sport. It doesn't matter.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, Dillon Gaudet, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And as always, may the winners be yours, my friend. Get us out of here, Dennis Dillon.
On this Wednesday evening, October 25th, we are gone. This has been the Bottom Line Sports.
Are we going to the bar with Lee Cruz?
Podcast? Yes.
All right.
We're going to go get our drink on.
Get us out of here.
I tried once
Well, keep going.
for a Wednesday evening. It's been the Bottom Line Sports Rocker Podcast.
The greatest name in sports podcasting.
NFL Week number 8. Special shout out to our sponsor this week, Goodfellas Pizza. When you need pizza, they've got it.
If you have to walk and get it.
Bon appetit.
Bone eight tit. That's what they said on Saturday Night Live.
Judy.
Sean Connery, I'd take bone eight tit for $400. Yeah.
Sorry, Miss Judy.
Miss Judy has
I'm
seen that.
embarrassed to be his friend.
Dillon Gaudet, my apologies for that terrible joke.
Suck it, Stivers.
May the winners be yours.
So until the next time, as always,
Winners be yours.
I hate all of you. May the winners be yours.
And yours alone.
Last word. You're not getting a last word.
And you stay classy, San Diego.
I'm Dillon Gaudet, and this is the weather. No, what? No.
And thank you for stopping by.
But mostly stay classy.
But mostly. Right.